No, go
All
on.
right, wind it in. Come on. So,
friends, the friendship ends.
I've just not had enough sleep for this.
I know exactly what it is. It's why I'm winding you up.
Why?
He didn't get to bed till 2:30 this morning.
Gary.
2:30.
Yes.
I was the first one actually to bail. That's the scary thing.
Welcome to the Graphters Podcast.
After evening, John.
Good evening, Gary. How are you?
I'm very, very well. How are you today?
Recovering.
Oh dear, ladies and jelly
night.
spoons. Yes, John and I were at an event last night called. Well, it was FORMATT. Actually, is tonight. The big event is tonight.
FORMATT is tonight.
The huge sold-out event that's for the gaming industry, which is current.
1,200 tickets have been sold.
I know, it's insane. It's insane, and there's people going in playing games, talking about games, game. That's what it is. It's games, game. And we were at the kind of, what is it? What would you describe it as?
So it's billed as the VIP event. It's really a B2B, B2C networking event where it's just generally a sort of calm before the storm. Get to see everybody. It's a really cool sort of event down at the Beer Keller in Manchester.
Yeah,
and it's it was really good. I had some colleges there, which was great. We had Vicky there from the Association of Colleges there as well, which did a little bit of networking and mixing. I was speaking to some of the games companies, talking about T-levels and things, and whether they work or don't work, or fears and hopes, I suppose. And I thought it was a really good event for those guys, and obviously for professionals like yourself, you get to mingle, network, see what sort of projects are going on.
It was really good. And it was nice to catch up with James Clark. I was just saying that John and I should name drop at the end, and we've literally done it within the first 3 minutes. That wasn't the reason why we were doing this.
Ever learn? We never read a script.
No, we don't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I don't think we've got a script.
No. Well, this is the thing. It's totally unscripted. We have a guest this evening who, unfortunately, who's met me before and knows that I talk for Britain. So at least we've got that in our favour. Yeah, I love that. I just saw a little nod. Just went, oh yeah. Gary never shuts up. And in fact, I think John and I consider ourselves very, very fortunate. As everyone knows, everybody who comes on here has got a viewpoint in relation to education, and whether it's from the position, mostly it's been of people who've either been in it and come out the other side, or it's people who work in it. And finally, we've actually got someone who is currently still in it. And
well, it sounds like at the very beginning as well.
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, the beginning of how it's all going to go from this point on.
Yeah, from further education rather than statutory education, which is really exciting.
We've don't worry, we've got we've checked with his parents, and it's all okay. We have with us tonight. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Oliver Wilkins. A student. I'm 16 years old, and I do visual effects as a hobby.
You really do it as a hobby, but you do a really good job of it as a hobby. There will be in the description for anyone who doesn't know, Ollie's little showreel from this year. I say little showreel. It's about the same length as a professional showreel and equally as good. And he is 16, people. He's also, if I am allowed to say, big fan of a certain piece of open source software.
I am. Yep.
Yeah.
What's that then, Ollie? What software is that? Sorry.
That software is Blender.
Oh. You see, that's great, because that means that I'm normally the first person to mention it. As you know, Ollie, I'm a big fan. It's really nice when somebody else mentions it before me, and again in the very early part of the whole podcast, which is superb. I'll just explain very briefly. Ollie's, in fact, no. Can you explain, please? Because I'll get it all wrong, I'm sure. How I met you? What were you doing? What did your dad do? And how did I meet you?
So basically, I was tasked. I think it was year 10. end of year 10, I was tasked with getting a work experience for a week. So because I want to do visual effects as a job, I went to visual effects places to see if I could get work experience. So I had managed to sort one out all by myself, but then I found out that like because of COVID and everything, kind of ditched one of the studios in Manchester without I didn't know that. So then I think my dad knocked on, and then he looked around to see if it was actually like a real place, and then he got told by someone like no, it was like shut down like months ago. So it was like oh, that's a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
So then I went searching around again. I don't really like phone calling people though, so I was just emailing people.
Mm.
That didn't really go too well, so then my dad's had to step in because it was only like a couple months before at that point.
Hadn't you got something? Didn't you get something down in London as well?
That was the thing. That it was the same place. That's the.
Oh, it was.
So it's one company in two studios. One of them was in Manchester, so I tried to sort the one out in Manchester, and then it hadn't worked out because it doesn't exist anymore. So the people that did work in Manchester worked from home at that point, and then the other people worked in London. So, yeah. So then my dad then rung around, and then someone from Space picked up, and then
Me.
oh, I thought it was someone else. Then they gave it over to you.
No.
Oh, right.
It was me. I was the closest person to the phone, and unless people were walking past her, or unless there was someone who was literally sitting there in the purpose of picking it up, I basically was the one to just go and pick up the phone and say, "Hello, Space, Gary, can I help you?" And your dad rang in, and he was very worried about your placement because you didn't seem to have one.
Yeah. But yeah, you picked up. You said yes. Or no, what you said? No, you didn't say yes immediately. You said we'd love to have them there, but we just need to see if you can. You checked. I think got the email. Then you said I can. And yeah, then for the week in July, I came in and did work experience at Space.
Was it 2 weeks or 1 week?
1 week. It's
Was
5
it-
days.
Felt like 15. No. It was. I'm sorry, man. We're joking. So then you and your dad came into the office and we chatted. And it was Stephen Caldecott was the other guy. Do you remember Stephen? Yeah.
Yeah.
And because I said to Stephen, I explained what had happened, and that your dad had said something along the lines. I think your dad said to me something along the lines of, "He can't go and work in London for a week. He's 15." And I went, "Well, yes, of course. I said, don't worry, we'll see what we can do." And I said to Stephen, "Just chat to the man." And Stephen, sometimes he plays the hard man, but actually it's a bit of a softie. And lo and behold, we organised it for you to come in and do a week of building modelling in Blender, which actually worked out really well. And I'm really glad. I think I remember saying to you at the time, and we will come back to Maya because I know you're now using some Maya. The point of you sitting there for a week, yeah, all right. The point of you sitting there for a week and trying to learn Maya for just a week was a totally redundant exercise.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to get you any understanding. All it would do would basically give you a place where you could sit and ask people questions about how to use Maya, and that wasn't going to help. So the fact that I was actually able to give you something to do, and it was stuff that the client had wanted originally in the commercial, and then they decided to take it out. So I was gutted because I really wanted you to be able to. It was a Fruit Shoots commercial, and it was all these fruits were rolling down a hill, going boom, 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 bouncing around and hitting stuff, and then ending up on this little podium and going, "Hey, da-da!" And it was lovely. So I thought, well, get Ollie to build the podium. So he built the podium. He built it so quickly. Darcy, who is basically the main the lead 3D person at Space now, she turned around and she went, "Oh, that looks nice." And I remember, and I just thought, this is, I can sometimes be a little bit over effusive, but when someone who I know doesn't often turn around and say other people's stuff is nice, and I don't mean she doesn't compliment people. What I mean is she won't give false compliments.
Yeah.
Turns around and looks at it. She says, "That's nice." She means it, there was just the confidence that you came across with at the age of 15, and the ability that you have was just wonderful. It's so nice because it's great to see people who really love what they're doing, and I'm willing to do it. And you really did hit the nail on the head. So you did the week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I haven't seen your face since. It's the first time I've seen you since you left.
Yeah. Got a haircut.
You have, and it's very short.
It's very short now.
It is
It
very short.
used to be like down to there.
It was yes, it was a lot longer. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
you moving it out your eyes a bit. So after that 1 week of wandering around Media City, us were coming out for lunch with us and stuff like that. What happened next? Because obviously you changed a lot of stuff in your reel. I noticed that.
Did I?
Yeah, you updated the pontoon with the lake
Oh,
and the
yeah.
mountains. You
Oh
updated
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you also did some there was the animation, is it the man in the shack?
Yeah.
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 And you did that as well. I
Did
remember
that, yeah.
I think you sent that to me and I was like, that looks lovely.
Yeah,
So-
it's alright. It was for a Rococo challenge. What's it called motion capture software. So it's like a big suit. Yeah, so it was for one of those. And I think I was featured in one of the Instagram posts, like, for a different challenge that I'd also participated in. As it was like one of the most like beautiful shots, or I think it was. I was like, oh, that's quite cool actually. But
That is nice, isn't it?
yeah.
It's really
Yeah,
great.
it's fun.
So you did more of that, and then what happened? So was that your final year of year
No, so
year 11, isn't it?
Yeah, year 11's final year. Year 7's
Yeah.
first, year 11's final. So it was second to last year at high school.
So what did you do after you left? I mean, because obviously at that point you were trying to work out where you were going to go to.
Yeah, so just left, and then
You don't get a choice, do you? When you get to the end of school, they just kick you out. That's it.
No.
On your way.
Yeah, there you go. Figure it out.
So how can I? So let me jump in with some edu questions, because obviously Gary knows you well, and I don't know you from Adam. I do know an Adam, and I knew a few Adams. Yeah. So, how many GCSEs did you get?
How many's like all of them?
Well, I don't.
No, so I passed everything.
I don't know how many you
Hang on,
took.
so-
10, 11?
Wait,
9.
wait. So,
9?
hang on. So it's French.
Maths, English.
We took French in year 9, so we got the languages out in year 9.
Nice.
So then that was all done. So French, got both my Englishes, maths. I did combined science.
So when you say you got
science.
your English, you got your maths, grade 4 or above.
Yeah, they're all. I think I got 1 grade 6. Everything was grade 7 or 8.
Very well done. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, so straight A's pretty much, because their science was a 6-7, which is either a high 6 or a low 7, which is like either a very, very, very high B
Yeah.
or a
A minus.
lowish A.
Yeah, A
Yeah.
minus.
Low A. Yeah.
So yeah,
For those of us that are in the old currency, that's an A minus. or let's call it an A. I think a B positive sounds better than an A minus.
B positive sounds like blood. It's blood work. B
Well,
positive.
they're both bloods. I think A is a blood as well, isn't it? Blood type.
No, but not an A negative. No, it's not a negative A, is it? It's an A
You
minus.
see how
just
quickly
say.
we derail ourselves.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
It's part of the joy of doing this. It really is.
The good thing is that obviously you're not going to have to do any more GCSEs at level 2, so that's brilliant. So it's all good. So you're now doing a level 3 in VFX and animation. Did you say?
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
Where are you
which
again?
college is that?
So it's Access Creative College in Manchester. So it's like Oxford Street area.
Okay.
But yes, they have a couple campuses around England. But yeah, I guess the Manchester one.
And what is the course? What does it entail? What is it? So it's not A level.
No, I think it is level 3.
I'm going to have a look. Don't worry.
Yeah, I think it. I get a bit confused with all of it, I'll be honest. But
So what does the course entail then? So I mean, what exactly are you doing right now?
so it's split up into different bits. So it's split up into image editing, world creation, color theory stuff, 3D modeling, and compositing. So yes, it means for compositing we're using After Effects, using Maya for 3D modeling.
So it looks like the Pearson quals that you're running, which would make them BTECs. I would think.
I think so, yeah.
That's really good though. So I really like that. I've just written all that stuff down. Image editing, world creation,
Yep.
color Oh, was
I
it? I
think
can't
it's
remember.
colour theory.
Colour theory. That's right. I can't
I
read.
think it is.
Yeah, no, it will be. That's right. Colour theory, 3D modelling and comp.
And do you get to do any work together in teams?
Yes. So something called Go Live. It's a bit like form time. So that's like team. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, really. But it's like about personal stuff.
Yeah, so this is really interesting because you're now you're past what we call the bingo part of your course. I.e., they've got to keep you on it from now on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
6 weeks grace is over. That period where people get to make choices. I mean, you can still make choices, and they should be very clear about that. You can still make your choices, but obviously the bulk of probably what the curriculum is has now been rolled out, and they now need to get you on with getting through that curriculum. And I hate to use the word, but you're ticking boxes to make sure that you've done all of the pieces that you need to do to evidence to show that you understand. And it's interesting because listening to you describe those things, and your college is going to really hate me right now, which I don't, and I really don't intend them to.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Careful.
If I was an Ofsted inspector,
Oh.
you see, you already know that they're not very, very. They have a job to do, and one of the jobs is how well do students know what they're doing and why they're doing it, and what that means. You'll have been, this will get drilled into you through those form events and things. But
Yeah.
I always think that if you've got a natural course, a course that naturally takes you through the journey, the pipeline, the experience, but it's been explained in a proper way. So you do the theory at the beginning, which no course tutor really likes to do because it's dry.
Yeah.
But if you kind of get it out of the way while everybody's still like, all right, we're giving it its chance, we'll see what the course is.
Yeah.
And then you give a few sprints of things, it means that you are part of the course, because the course is built for you and for all of your fellow students. So yeah, for me, just listening to what it is and trying to explain that course, it sounds like, it just sounded a little bit, siloed, as in you do this, then you do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, which all sounds good in their own things, but
Yeah.
I think they all overlap when we do things. They really do overlap.
But don't you feel that they overlap? I mean, the people who are teaching you the stuff, are they teaching it all? I'm really interested. Are they teaching it like, when you say, is it like this part? No, we're now going to do color theory, and then it's like, and next we're going to do comp, or is it kind of like we're going to do comp, and during the course of it, we'll be discussing color theory?
Oh no, so it's different. It's like it's one course split into different lessons. So it'll be different teachers and stuff.
Does you get the impression that there is some kind of correlation?
Thing is, with there's been, I feel like it's been hinted at with compositing and 3D modeling. If you 3D model the stuff, and then we're going to be compositing back in, I think. But then with the other stuff, it's not too much correlation, apart from color theory, maybe with image editing and stuff. But
do you get to do any lens-based stuff as well? Do you get to do any photography or any film based?
No.
See, we were discussing that last night, Gary. It's amazing how that comes up so many times, and because it's not a unit, it doesn't get covered. But if you're a VFX artist and you don't understand the lens, then you're fighting the whole shot all the way.
Yeah,
it's been hinted at in compositing, so I think that's going to be coming a bit later. At the moment with compositing, it's figuring out the basics of After Effects and stuff, and then we're going to be learning the stuff afterwards. That's what I've got from it.
If you want any help with that or at any point, just let me know, because I've been using After Effects for about 18 years.
Or you could go into
18.
Yeah, he's old. You could go. You can go into Resolve.
Mate, I'm 50. Have you forgotten I'm 53?
It's just a number, Gary. It's just a number. Let it go.
I know, but literally, I can fit your age into my age 3 times and still have 1 year left over.
Dear gosh.
You've been doing After Effects longer than I've been alive.
Yes, that
Hold
is
on.
absolutely correct. I have. I've been working in the industry for 32 years. I worked out today. That's depressing enough.
This is also supposed to be educational for you as well, Ollie, as much as it is just a cool experience seeing two, industry hacks.
Well, maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is, it's so nice. I don't know. I said it's so nice to have Ollie on, obviously, because I like the guy. But It's not just that. There are students. We are very aware that there are students out there who have started listening to the podcast. And one person was saying to John that as part, it's not like part of the curriculum, but he's actually getting the kids to listen to the podcast, and also for some stupid reason watch my YouTube channel.
Rob, we love you, really. We do love you, Rob.
No, he's a lovely guy. I met him last night, shook him by the hand and everything.
And then he went, "You're coming and doing a live podcast with us."
Yeah, that's what he wants us to do, a live podcast.
Yeah, we're going to build. We're going to build up to that. We'll...
Live.
I've no idea why.
No, I think you could. I think you could pull off a live one.
I think we could as well. But as long as, as someone said, you should do it on YouTube. Get it filmed. And I think I couldn't have said no quicker.
This is not the face. This is not the face of the podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Face for radio.
Yeah.
Face for radio. I got an email this morning from someone I used to work with at a company called Arc Developments, and it was my games company they worked at around about 32 years ago. And it was really weird because it reminded me of my first job in the industry. And it really, really took me back, and it made me realise, how terrible my work was when I first started doing this for a living. And it was atrocious, and there was a lot of learning time. When you sort of get this sort of remembrance of how it is, and then you realise there are students who are the age that I was when I started getting interested in this, who are already way ahead of me and better than me, and then are basically having to been asked to do stuff. Look at this tutorial done by this guy who used to be rubbish, but he's actually not too bad these days. It's a bit peculiar.
This is software as well, though. The software's definitely got more beginner friendly and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Well, here's the thing, Ollie. The software has been trained to do the mundane that we had to figure out. Gary and I can both relate back to when we actually had to input coordinates to get models, which is a very, very, very early part of the modelling process. Because I know Gary went to Bournemouth University of Arts, and they used Seagal.
Yeah, Seagal was computer graphics animation. It's CGAL, computer graphics animation language. And if you wanted to change the object's color texture, you literally had a command which is COCTT, and then you put in 3 values, RGB values, and that COCTT was a command, and it was change object color texture type. I mean, oh my! It was the cutting edge, and it was just. I mean, it was the only thing that you could do stuff in.
So I just researched. So I've been doing Blender for 3.5 years.
Yeah. And you're right. What you said a minute ago about the fact that it's so much more accessible, so much easier to use, and it really is. I know there's a lot of people who, it doesn't. In fact, it doesn't matter. Software is agnostic, in my opinion. It's the quality of the person in the chair is what makes stuff good.
Yeah.
You are good at what you do, you'll generate good stuff. It's that simple. Maya users, obviously, we can be quite pedantic.
I mean, this week's been quite exciting for me. It's been a busy old week this week. Obviously, fitting FORMATT in as a real big industry event, which is, I'm going to give a big shout out actually to Simran because the guy that runs it, the guy that's created this and driven it and keeps driving it. He's done some seriously good stuff. So big shout out, and obviously it's really important. There's a lot of students going there tonight from Hopwood. I think Hopwood College are sending students. I think there are students also going from Burnley College. So yeah, props to the tutors that are taking time out of their half term, to make sure they chaperone properly and that they get that experience, that opportunity to go and play a load of games, get selfies with, Master Chief and the dancing crew, and DJs that are there. So all that's happening. And, Ollie, you're already well down the track of this, but, you need to take every opportunity you can possibly get.
In fact, the college should be more involved in that because even though it's VFX, the lines are very blurred.
So here's another thing. 8th of December, Ollie, is World VFX Day. It's a brand new thing that's being championed by the Access VFX team, and big shout out to Simon to Access VFX. I know he's not the total brains behind it, but he's obviously he pushes everything that's VFX based that I know of, and it's all about getting diversity and equality. But we need to get down to college levels. I think the same way that games courses sprang up inside colleges because they're cool. You put the word games in front of them, and students come and get on them.
Yeah.
Bums on seats.
Yeah, the VFX, the animation, certainly the animation courses, and I think Gary and I alluded to some stuff that this channel will be supporting coming into fruition in the next 2 months. We're really pushing the animation side of things. Gary, bless you. But
I've barely got time to stand up, not do it, let alone do the things that I've got to get done for you.
the whole thing that we're doing is literally trying to do something good to do with work experience, which probably you influenced Gary's decision to say, yeah, all right, we'll do this. Because it really is, it really is. I mean, because Gary's, I think
I felt you'd been let down, not by your dad. I felt you'd been let down by your school, quite frankly. So, you said, did you say to them, I want to do some VFX stuff? Did they help in any way, or was it just literally down to you?
No, it's literally all down to you. You have to sort it out. So that's what they're trying to say. It is like, that's how you're going to get jobs in the future.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. And they need the government's already realizing that they need some support on career development, career advice and guidance, because this is exactly why there is not the diverse range of people doing the courses at FE. It's because schools aren't clued up enough to understand that, it's a 111 billion, dollar industry, pound industry to the UK economy. It's absolutely huge, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. In that, we are lumping in animation, VFX, and games production. But if it was construction, they understand it.
Yeah. That's the only thing. They don't understand it.
No. It's amazing that even now they still don't understand it. You'd think they would by now, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah.
What with absolutely every single thing on TV has had comp work on it. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter where it is. Every single show on Netflix will have had a department of. In fact, you watch, just wait till the end of it, and you'll see. There's a load of people who've just done so much stuff, like got rid of a blue screen, put in a building. Got rid of a green screen.
CG set extension is a real thing.
It's massive.
So,
in fact, if you don't do that on your part of your course, I will be staggered, because if you're doing 3D and comp and world creation, that pretty much is what that is.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that I wrote down. I'm a massive believer in serendipity. Being in the right place at the right time.
No, Ollie got stuck with us. He wasn't in the right place.
He
poor
was.
beggar.
I mean, the serendipity for you was Gary picked up the phone. Yeah, because if it hadn't been Gary, you probably wouldn't have got the placement, just because 16, 15-year-old. I'm sorry, no, we probably can't cope with that. And most businesses aren't set up to do that, and that's one of the biggest problems that T levels are facing right now.
It's fair enough, really, at the time, straight out of COVID.
Yeah.
Like, the majority of visual effects places were working at home by that
And they
point.
still are. They still are.
Yeah, but they're starting to come back a bit more now. I mean, I tell you what the interesting thing is, actually, and it's a big point, actually, Ollie, is that you're right. I was in the office. There were about 4 or 5 other people in the office at the same time. I may have picked up the phone. But what that means for the VFX industry is that you can get the skilled people that you want. Because, I mean, for example, on a morning call this morning, there was me. I was here, literally where I'm sitting right now. Had to go into the office later, but so there was me here in Derbyshire. Then there was a couple of people in the office, and then there's Darcy, who lives on the way towards Liverpool, and then there's Anastasia, who is in Cyprus. There's Andrew, who is in Croatia, who when he originally started working for us was in Ukraine, and then there's Igor, who is from Portugal, who is now in the office, and so basically you can pick the people you want really to do the work from anywhere in the world, and that's fantastic. That is unheard of. At least it used to be. and now it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
Which actually is quite wonderful.
So many times in my life, I've been in the right place at the right time. I mean, I got a job at the computer company that I was working at when I was I would have been 17 and a half. I was doing I'd left college, dropped out, didn't bother with my second year. Sorry, Gary. That's a Gary Sykes that it was the tutor. You know, I know I didn't care at the time, but when I became a lecturer, I really did care that people dropped out. But I mean, you know, it just wasn't working for me. Fine art, you know, graphics art wasn't working. I needed something that was a little bit more current. I wanted money.
Yeah.
I went and got a job I got on a course that was doing it was doing business admin and typing and a bit of computer stuff. You know, it was like literally inputting things into computers, not programming, like just putting records into a computer. You know,
Spreadsheeting.
Yeah, it wasn't even spreadsheets, Gary. This was manually. There was a program. Literally, the computer only had this program. You put in the names of people, the dates, and that's generally what a lot of civil servants do still to this day.
Yeah.
And so that was there, and everybody else went. Last day of this course that we were on, it was a short course, you know, for 6-8 weeks, and I was kind of like, I've got to finish something. I need at least one thing that I've got to finish. And everybody else went off to the pub, didn't bother finishing the course because it was like a mandatory thing that people had to be on. And I stayed and I finished my level 2 and level 3 type testing. So I can type quite well. I used to be able to type quite quick. I think arthritis starts slowing you down. And somebody made a phone call and said, we need somebody that's a bit arty that knows about computers. And they came down, they grabbed hold of me. They said, do you want to do a telephone interview? There's a job at the end of it. And they sent a car out to me. I was introduced to the managing director.
And a car out to you?
Yeah. They sent a car.
Wow.
Yeah, they sent a car, and I became an apprentice. And I remember the managing director, Martin Thornton, sitting across from me after I'd done about an hour talking to the head of engineering, and he was telling me all about these Unix computers, Silicon Graphics Unix computers, and how much they all are, and how they all go together. And these computers had like, probably going to get this wrong now, but like they'd have like 64 megabytes of RAM. And that was like, that was probably about right. That was like big numbers.
They went up to, I think it was at the end, I think the highest amount was about 512 before they basically got surpassed by the PCs.
Yeah.
Maybe even have been higher. But I remember working on a machine that had 128
megabytes.
Kilobytes.
All right, yeah.
No, megabytes. 128 megabytes
of memory.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and these were the machines. And I went up and sat in the boardroom, sat across from Martin, and he sort of said, so how does this all work? And I said, well, it's an apprenticeship scheme. You know, I'll be on social benefits, but I'll get an extra £25 a fortnight because you're taking me on as an apprentice. And he said, so how much is that then? And I think at the time, it was £28 a week on benefits that I was getting. So I'd get an extra sort of, you know, whatever it was on top of that. So I was somewhere in the region of about £50. I'm thinking at this point, ka-ching, you know, wow, I've just got a massive increase. And he looked at me and he went, nobody works for less than £100 a week at this place. So we'll start you on £100 a week. And I said, it doesn't work like that, Martin. He said, well, that's not your problem anymore. So I'll see you here on Monday morning. And I had to walk to get there. It wasn't actually that far away, but it was at least a 45-minute walk for me to get there. He found out that I was walking, so then I had to get a lift. Somebody was picking me up. They supported me to start driving. They helped me with driving, and eventually they got me into a company car. And it was like I became an engineer that traveled the country, and I got into software. I was an alias wavefront engineer. And that's serendipity. And it's like right place, right time.
Yeah.
And it's been the same thing for quite a few of the things that I've done in my life. Like meeting back up with Gary, that was a bit serendipity, you know, ending up at 422 Manchester because Escape Technology, you know, they were doing placements for freelancers, and that's where I ended up. So what I'm going to say is it's really, really important, if given an opportunity, you do not bail on it. You know, you try and go for everything, even if you don't know anything about it. My advice, and I say this to quite a few students, is say you can do it, then figure it out. Is what I'm saying. So
I think Ollie will be all right there.
There you go. I'll get off my
No pressure. No pressure. Don't quit.
Oh no, I won't.
Okay, I don't think you will. So, how are you feeling about it anyway? I know, obviously, I don't want to scare you off it. Good God. So far, out of what you've done so far, what has been the highlight of the course?
Anything I've ever done, or the course of
This course that you'll access.
Oh, right, okay. It's probably been getting the grips of Maya and actually being comfortable in it.
Yeah.
That's probably been the biggest bit. 'Cause it means I can actually use it at home and not be completely like stuck.
No.
Like I can figure out how to sculpt now, like and model something roughly.
Yeah.
Still feels a bit weird, but I can figure it out now.
Absolutely.
So, I've got a question.
Yep.
When you're being assessed in your course,
Mhm.
are they assessing you on your work and your workflow, or are they assessing you on you can use the software?
From what I've figured out, I think it's whether at the moment it's whether you can use the software, that you understand it, and then in the future it'll be I don't know really. I'll be honest. I don't. That's what I've kind of gained from it. I think it's the understanding of it. I think the assessments that we've been doing at the moment are all written at the moment to get you into it, and then it'll be.
Ask them for Viva Voce. They'll hate you, but it means you just want to talk about it.
Oh right.
Yeah, I'll just say just record me and I'll talk about it like a podcast, and totally acceptable as a form of your understanding. And I bet you
Is it though?
it is. Yep. Ofsted, I love it. Ofsted, absolutely love it.
If a kid says, "I'm not going to write it down," you're going to have to listen.
Yeah. If well, I'm going to show you. Do it as a voiceover as well. Just show people. Look, this is me doing it. Like you do a screen recording, you do yourself doing something, but then you edit the screen recording, so you make it into like one of the videos that you watch, and you do a voiceover. This is why I did this. Oh, and here I went wrong, and I knew I'd made a mistake. So I had to sort of go back a couple of versions. If you are saving versions of your scenes, you're way ahead of a lot of people. Good.
Oh, actually, I'm doing that.
Good naming conventions.
It's 3D modeling. I'm doing that.
Yeah, good naming.
Well, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No. I mean, good naming conventions within the software. So, like, if you build an asset, you name the asset. Underscore geom or whatever it is you want to call it. Everybody's got
geometry, yes, and group stuff is underscore GRP and things like that.
But I mean, these are things that they're very, very small details. But somebody that knows about them, like Gary or myself, or somebody that's looking at your portfolio, or your showreel, or a bit of your work, will immediately pick up and go, "Hello."
Yeah.
Tidy workflow and pipeline. Oh, I've said it. I've said it now.
Yay.
It's that massive can of worms that is different in everywhere. I think the fact that you're putting in versioning and things like that is very, very important and stuff. Do you feel that? I mean, are you feeling right now that you took you're on the right course?
I thought about that the other day. I am. Yeah. No, don't make that face. But no, it's just because where my friends are really. That's the only reason I thought about it.
So you got friends who are at the same college do the same stuff?
No one.
Oh,
literally where they're by myself. That's the only thing I've really thought about.
Here's the thing as well. You're probably going to be by yourself most of your life doing stuff that you want to do. No, but so you just need to make friends or get along with people that you need to get along with. The easier it is, the easier it is.
Good. Yeah. Like I'm happy. My class is fine, so I'm quite happy with that.
That's the thing. I think it's like it normally happens later, but I think because of the course you're doing, you'll find that you'll meet much more like-minded people.
Yeah.
People, and that makes that is when you start to find your own clan. When you start to become more restrictive into what you're learning. So rather than the bigger stuff like all the GCSEs and stuff, so there's all over the place, languages and sports and maths and then when all of a sudden now it's like I am now doing visual effects, and everybody else is also just doing visual effects, and so you want to do it and they want to do it, and you start to you start to do that sort of stuff. I mean, it does sound to me, I'll be honest with you, it does sound very much like the course itself already sounds like the first year of a degree course. And that is something else. That's really impressive.
I've got a question for you, Ollie.
Yep.
He's got all the questions this evening.
I don't know him.
I know.
All right,
carry on.
Why do you want to be in this sector? What? There's 2 questions. Why do you want to be in the sector? But more importantly, what started all this? If you did listen to our podcast, Ollie, you'd know that Paul Coulthard told us some really cool sort of backstories of how he got into animation and the things that he wanted to do. And I mean, so much so we had to do 2 episodes. It was that there was that much good, great content. No pressure. It's not about you, but
he's a very well-known professional storyboard artist.
At Axis Animation.
I feel like I've heard of him.
Probably have.
I don't know though.
He's probably got a credit on loads of the games that you play.
What was that point? When was the what do they call it? The eureka moment.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Oh, this is what I want to do.
I don't think I had a massive eureka moment. There was a moment where I'd found like VFXs for the first time. I'm like, whoa, that's actually really quite cool.
Was it a YouTube video or?
Yeah. Well, I think it was.
Was it Corridor Crew?
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Those guys are amazing.
I think it was, but it was. So I'd seen their stuff years and years and years before that, and there was like one VFX shot that really stood out to me. I'm like, that is mad. Like,
Remember which one it was?
Yes. So it was a Nerf Team Fortress video, and there's a scene where like one of them's like smacking a thing, and then like a big turret made out of Nerf guns comes out of nowhere, and like builds up. I'm like, that is sick. For like 10-year-old me looking at that for the first time, like, whoa, that's so cool.
Yeah.
But then years later in lockdown, I saw one of them was trying to learn how to kickflip in 48 hours, and I'm like, I recognize this type of thing. So I went onto the channel, and then it was the behind the scenes from how they did all the stuff. And there's one guy there called Peter who used Blender.
He's brilliant.
And I'm like, whoa, that's actually really cool.
He's still there. Peter's still there.
He left.
He's
and then
left.
came back.
Yeah, he's making a game at the moment. But
Whilst there.
No, I don't know what I don't know if they're paying him and he's making a game, or because I think he's still employed there, but he's doing something else.
I think the thing is, I mean, this is a little bit. It's kind of like the machine becomes bigger than the sum of its parts. I think Corridor Crew became such a big production company of the Corridor Crew, of the behind the scenes stuff. There's such a big revenue that comes in from advertising and all the other bits, and it's cool. They have effectively become content themselves. So they,
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the React series of films that they do are wonderful. And they've seemed to, right down to directors react, animators react.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Stuntmen react, or stunt people react.
And Peter also recreated the Terminator 2 shot through the bars. That was pretty cool. And he was really into his Nerf stuff as well, like recreating scenes with Nerfs, like not the bullets. I'm talking about the neural radiance fields. I mean, the fact that you know about neural radiance fields puts you probably way ahead about 90% of the tutors in this country.
It depends. If I say the word Gaussian, what's the word that you put after it?
Blur.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, so the new one is Splat.
Oh wait, oh no, yeah, I saw that actually. I did see that. To I actually did. That's some Norway guy or something.
Let's do that again, shall we? Let's do that again.
Yep. Yeah.
So if I was to say Gaussian to you, what would be the word that you put after it?
It would have to be Splat.
Oh, well done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll probably keep all of that in just for the fun.
I didn't know. I think I did actually see that. The guy doing it.
I saw one recently, and it was showing you how basically very quickly it would put together it shows you like the base of it and the artwork, and then it showed it was one of the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Oh right.
And it came right round the back of it. It's just like, oh my lord, it's just so good. And you can see the reflection as well was moving in their helmet. It's like it's just got everything. But I mean, it's completely changed the way we build anything.
As a VFX artist, say right, this is such a strange conversation to have, but you're probably one of the first people I'd be confident having this conversation with after what Gary said and where you wanted to go. But in VFX, what's the sort of things that you want to? Where's your current targets? Because they will change. You're going to have to do lots of different things, stuff you don't want to do, but ultimately, you're going to have I want to at least get to try that and do that. What's the sort of things that you wanted to do?
At the moment, it's 3D. Anything 3D.
So building things.
Yeah. Building scenes. I'm not as bothered about building like specific like assets, but building like scenes or parts of scenes I really enjoy.
And are you aware of like PGCs, like procedurally generated content, like things?
Yeah.
And what software would you use for that?
It depends what you want it for, though.
Well, anything
So,
procedural. Where would you do procedural stuff currently?
oh, currently,
Yeah, well, that you know of.
that I know of would be Houdini,
Hey, now that is knowledge.
Yeah.
but currently it'd be Blender because I don't have the money. For Houdini.
They know that. They know that.
Actually, I've got a question I want to ask you. Actually, Al.
Mhm.
As a person who is still fresh in
Mhm.
terms of working in the industry and whatnot, what is your current opinion on AI in relation to
Ooh.
this VFX industry? Because I'm an
Um,
I'm an old jaded f***, and
Yeah.
I'm getting much better with it, and I can see a place for it. But I'd love to know your perspective as someone who is literally right at the cutting edge of. For you, it's just going to be a much bigger thing. So
Thing is, I've barely used the AI stuff. Like I did the Mid Journey stuff when it was first coming out. I was like, that's quite cool actually. I want to try it out.
mm,
I didn't. I mean, I don't think I was putting in the right parameters and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's a bit because I've seen there's a lot of controversy, and I agree with a lot of it. But then I also think that stuff like this has happened in the past, and then we've figured out ways to go around it, and then use it in certain stuff, and like not to interfere with everything. But I think it's going to be mostly down to money and what the directors and stuff want, and then also with the Marvel stuff, they're just pumping out like stuff off stuff off stuff.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the studios benefiting from it the most, because it means they don't have to pay millions and millions and millions and millions and
it is a bit odd. Someone was saying that actors won't have to act, but they will. But what'll happen is they'll get money from it by
royalties.
Yeah, they'll get royalties basically for whenever their avatar is AI'd into a shot, and they will get money for that rather than actually being. But then there's like people are pushing back on that, saying, no, I won't have to pay people money every time I use their face. Oh, yes, you will.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna break in here, and just because I can see I'm always the timekeeper on these podcasts. There's a couple of things we want to get through some quick fires, and I think Gary, you've probably got probably a better idea of doing the quick fires.
I have, but it's funny because I don't know Ollie as well as I would like to think. But I've got a rough idea of the sort of person he is, and so I've got some questions.
Good.
But it's like,
hang on. Stop. Ollie, have you got any questions for Gary and I?
Have I? Oh, sure, I've got one. I've got one. What pieces of media were you both inspired by?
What got me doing this?
Yeah. Or both of you, yeah.
Yeah.
When I was
Just a little
About-
boy.
when I was about 8 or 9, I remember it was Star Wars. The first Star Wars had been on the cinema in '77, and at the time then you would literally have to wait 5 years for a film to go from the cinema to the TV.
Yeah.
And they were shown at Christmas. And the year after the film came out at the cinema, a special came on.
Oh no.
No, not the holiday special.
Oh right, okay.
Not the holiday special. No.
Right, yeah.
Although that was after the first one.
Yeah.
No, it was showing how they had done some of the special effects in the film. And there's two things that I remember. One from not the holiday special. One from this particular special where they were explained how they shot the shot where the X-wing from the X-wing's position comes down into the trench and then runs along.
Yeah.
And they basically built a section of trench that
Mhm.
was big enough that they could get a camera on a rig and then bring the camera in. They needed strong enough lighting.
I've seen the big trench, yeah.
Yeah, so they needed lighting that was strong enough to make it look like it was coming from a sun.
Yep.
So they put it all on a big bunch of tables outside, so it was only lit by the sun. And they had black cloth low down, so that when they went into the trench, there was just black at the back end. And it was so simple, but so beautifully done. And then I realised that they were using, and it's where the term kit bashing comes from. They were using model kits. They bought like a bunch of like Revell and Tamiya and all these kits, and they were basically ripping the kits apart, model kits, and they were sticking they're bashing all these pieces together to make the ships look what they got. And when they got the one they liked, then they went, right, okay, we know which pieces we've used from where, and then they'd go out and buy hundreds of the kits so they could make more than one ship. And I realized that I could do that. I could go out and I could buy a kit and then use all the bits. And so kit bashing, which is, that whole thing about having lots of little bits, that's literally the phrase was created for that.
Yeah.
As long as also so was the word blockbuster, because the queues were so long that for the film was so long that they actually went all the way around the block. And so that's where the word blockbuster comes from, because actually where blockbuster meant it went around multiple blocks.
I thought it was Jaws.
Oh, do you know what? Actually, you're. Oh my God.
Oh my days! I never thought. I'd love to see the day that Noden's just been Noden.
I've been, not only have I been Nodened, it's Ollie probably remembers this. It's my favourite film.
Ooh.
Jaws is my favourite film. That's where I've got.
You probably told him it, and that's why he knows about it.
No, it's from film studies, GCSE film studies.
All right. Well, while Gary goes a whiter shade of pale.
No. So basically, it was watching how they made all the special effects, and then I remember watching. When I was about 15, I went to see Rocky IV, and it was a matinee performance, and there were 2 films on. So it was Rocky IV and a film called The Last Starfighter.
I've heard of that.
It's got a crazy story. It's got a crazy story in it as well.
It has, but it's a good laugh. It's a bit mental. And they had some very, very early ray tracing in there of a little metal spaceship.
Oh right, yeah.
And it was. I remember watching it and going, "How have they done that?" And that was, and then I'm finding out eventually how they did it. But it was sheer fluke that I ended up doing it, because I was going to train to be a chef, and then I ended up doing this by accident. So yeah, it's always it's everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't have met you if I hadn't done that.
So
Yeah.
mine's a little bit different. I mean, obviously I'm about 5 years younger, I think, than you, Gary. So yeah, being born, I think, in the mid 70s is kind of where I was born. 74 was where I was born, and I grew up on 2000 AD comics. That really sort of like that was sort of where my art inspiration came in. And then Sir Ian Livingstone's fighting fantasy books. I used to love playing the role plays in the fighting fantasy books. And if you ever get a chance, get one of those books, get some dice and just play the book. And and that's where early game making came. So when I was at school, then the BBC computers were in, and they'd moved across some of these ideas of these role plays and making a decision. So you have to make a decision, and then there's a chance and a luck thing. And then I got into Warhammer and all that sort of stuff. So I was always into the gaming side of things, not rather than the VFX, and that's kind of where I got drawn to. But from wanting to be an effects, be in the effects pipeline or understand it more, obviously I started in sort of like 17. I didn't go to university, so my formative years weren't spent doing education. They were spent getting involved and getting to work.
Yeah,
I sort of got introduced, sort of to like films like The Abyss that had been heavily used Silicon Graphics and Alias software.
Yeah.
And obviously,
Classic.
once you saw that, there was reflections going on, and then of course you had Terminator 2, and I was getting the breakdowns of all those because I was really young when I joined this industry. Like opportunities now for people like yourself are quite abundant, but back then, young people didn't really get into the industry. It was old people being upskilled in new technology to do things. That was my day-to-day job.
Yeah,
it really was, and graduates, they were still doing fine art courses. And if you ask a lot of the studio heads, heads of departments and things like that, they're all most of them are classically trained at our age group, Gary and I's age group. And Gary's would have been one of the first courses that probably took 3D graphics into it at Bournemouth, because they were leading the way. There was Bournemouth, there was Teesside. I think Liverpool had we were starting to sell kit to Liverpool. And I spoke about this once at a talk that I did some students. Sort of like 1995 was like a really strange year, because the industry was learning how to use Power Animator and education was learning how to use Power Animator, and they were going side by side.
Yeah.
And so the people that came out of those courses were really, really useful to the industry, because they had proportionally a lot more knowledge than probably this gap between students now have when they come out of industry. As much as you are taught very much industry pipeline and everything else,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think the hours that you are given to study and to be directed study have got less and less and less because the funding's got tighter and tighter and tighter squeezed. So those were the sort of things that got me into it. And then I got really into, sorry, I'll fast forward. Babylon 5 was a big sort of TV series that was on. Lightwave was the big product that they used. I was lucky enough to work with Alan Marks at Magic Camera Company, and he worked at Shepperton Studios. And so I got to learn, and he showed me all the Red Dwarf stuff that they'd done, which is just like Gary said. I was actually there. I got to hold the Red Dwarf ship, which was like, nowadays it's in a glass cabinet somewhere. And yeah, Gary, I was like, Rimmer.
I've held an original Womble.
So, and then finally, I think the thing that's always run through me is a love of literature. So like Discworld and, Terry Pratchett and all that sort of stuff. That
Terry Pratchett.
I unfortunately, when I start reading a book, my dyslexia means that I stop seeing the words and I start seeing pictures in my head, which is a very useful thing if you're a creative person. But it does get in the way of things as well. So, the hardest jobs I ever had was where I had to follow concept art to the letter, and my brain would be reading the narrative and starting to add things and embellish things in there, and then you have to go back and take things out. So that's it. That's a good question. Really good question.
So now we're going to do this kind of like quick fire round thing. It's not that quick fire. If you want to stop and talk about something a bit more, then please do. But they're pretty much standard questions or at least it seems to be standardized. And there's a lot of repeats. So, quick questions from the world of us. And they're just mostly, well, we'll just see how it goes. How's that? Right. So, Ready? Number 1.
Yep.
Favorite film?
Oh, no. I'm going to say Hot Fuzz.
Oh, my, what a fantastic choice. What a brilliant choice. Favorite scene in the film?
Oh, well, what sequence? Yeah, probably just a bit where he storms into the town and actually, yeah, it probably is that bit because all the jokes call back to that bit.
Yeah, I do like. I do like the sequence with the swan.
Yeah.
Mine's with my favorite shot. My favorite bit in that is the when the guy's in the graveyard, and then something falls on his head.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
Absolutely adore that. Great.
No, I do actually like the bit when they're sat in the car and they're looking at people. That was quite funny. Actually.
Yeah, just chatting.
Yeah.
In fact,
just chunnering.
I'm gonna, every day I'm chunnering. In fact, I'm going to change it. Actually, my favorite scene in that entire film is the section from where he leaves London to where he arrives at the place, and it goes from left, and then at some point in the middle, everything starts angling towards the right. So the travelling actually turns and changes, and it's such a really nice edit. It is a great example of brilliant editing. Love that. So anyway, sorry. So favorite film, right? Favorite TV show?
Taskmaster.
Greg.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I'm going to just drop one in.
Yeah.
Favorite media channel?
Yeah. What, media channel?
Yeah. So in your channels, whether it be Twitch, whatever else, who's your favorite content creator in those channels? Twitch, YouTube, whatever. It doesn't matter which one. But what do you lose time watching more than anything?
Gem VFX YouTube channel.
Well, how many videos do you have on your channel?
Oh, a lot.
About 83, I think now.
That's not a lot, Gary. Obviously, he's just dismissed you.
No, he's right though.
No, but it'd probably have to be Corridor with their early vlogs.
That's fine. I had a horrible feeling that I thought you were going to say Mr. Beast.
No.
He's a very sensible PewDiePie, yeah. He's a very sensible lad.
Yeah. Markiplier.
Yeah, I like him. Nice guy.
Oh, I like Markiplier. So favourite...
Mine would have been Salad Fingers, but only because...
No, do not. Don't talk about that. I hate that so much.
Yeah, but I knew his dad. He worked for me.
I don't care. It's awful. So, here we go. What's your favourite computer game? Do you have one?
I was expecting you to ask this actually. I don't have one favourite. I genuinely don't have one favourite. I like Forza Horizon.
Forza.
Yeah.
Playground games. Nice.
Bit of driving.
Yeah. Driving. I like driving. Battlefield.
Battlefield 2042, is it?
I've been playing that at the moment. Yeah, I thought it'd be really bad, but I've actually quite enjoyed it. To be fair.
Yeah, shout out to Tim.
It is this.
Shout out to Tim. He's playing it right now, apparently.
Is he? Nice.
Tim is our moderator, and thank you, Tim, for getting this recording to work.
Oh, Lego Star Wars, grew up on those, and then Star Wars Battlefront 2015.
I still want to play because that's now free to play, isn't it?
Is it?
Battlefront.
Is it on X Pass? I think some of this is on X Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I think on Steam, I think you can get Battlefront now for nothing.
Oh, that's Battlefront
Which
2.
would be good, actually.
I know Battlefront 2 is for free.
Hmm.
Last time I played, the servers were. I mean, to be fair, I was trying to play the season pass stuff, so the actual.
So you're not into any of the zombie stuff, the horror stuff, like Sons of Forest, or
No, I don't like those.
good?
No, the furthest I'll go with that stuff is like Roblox horror games late at night with friends. That's the furthest I'll go.
The
Anything
Roblox
past
stuff,
that-
yeah. The
Anything
Roblox.
past that, I'm like, no, not fun.
What about Fortnite? Have you done anything in Fortnite with Fortnite Creator Edition?
I remember I was trying to download it and it didn't work on my computer.
No.
Because like it was all bugging out, but it was really annoying because I actually wanted to, because it looked quite powerful, but
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We're having a look at it for some stuff.
Favorite sandwich. It is an old question, but we haven't used it for a while.
I remember when I was at Space, it was sweet corn and tuna.
You ate them a lot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be BLT or chicken chorizo.
Oh, BLT, good
Ooh.
call.
Yeah.
BLT. John's found out recently he's now gluten free.
Yeah,
he has a
yeah,
gluten
Matt. Do you want to
intolerance.
say, Matt? If you're listening, do you know I'm gluten free, Matt? Matt Wilson, Cloud Imperium Games. Do you know I'm gluten free?
Yeah, he does now very well.
Last night, gee whiz. That's all I had.
Did he mention it all the time again?
Did he? I think he might have mentioned it once or twice.
He did.
Sorry.
Hey, actually, did I tell you by the way, Ollie?
Mm.
John's gluten free.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I know.
Never.
It's amazing, isn't it? One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Broadcast or games for a career?
Broadcast. Wait, what do you mean? Wait. When you say broadcast, you mean films? Like film and
Yeah,
TV?
basically
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
that's visual.
Long form, short form, you're all fine. Long form film, short form commercial, you're fine.
Yeah, broadcast them. Yeah,
Yep. Okay, cool. Blender or Maya?
Blender.
Of course. DC or Marvel?
Do you mean like the superheroes or the films?
I mean the films, really.
Well, yeah, I mean they are now one in the same, aren't they?
I like. Hang on. So like first Iron Man, that kind of era. Really like that.
Yeah.
I love all the effects we used and everything. But then I really enjoyed the Batman, the most recent Batman with Robert Pattinson. I actually really like that one. Oh, that might be up there with favorite film actually. That might be up there because I really liked that. It was the way it was shot with the opening scene. Like this, it shows like it's just a bunch of Gotham, just like a bunch of shots of Gotham. That's really good. I'm gonna say, oh,
I wonder if they used City Creator add-on.
practical. No, practical. Majority of it. Oh, they used what's it called for it? Unreal. I think it was Unreal because they used the volume.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
For what? For the beginning
No,
of
no.
the film?
No, for the rest of it.
Yeah, so they'll have taken that practical model and put it into probably a load of nerfs.
Possibly. They will do in the future, but not now.
I'm gonna say Marvel. I like the superheroes more in Marvel. I think a little bit. I don't know.
Have you got a favourite? Because I mean, my favourite in Marvel was 100% was always Iron Man. Have you got a favourite character in there? Just out of interest.
It used to be the Hulk, and I think it's changed to Spider-Man now.
But is that Marvel?
What is
Spider-Man's Marvel.
It is, yeah, but
No,
it's Sony.
It's Marvel Comics, but it's Sony.
Well,
Pictures.
I'm counting it as
Okay.
Marvel, but
Okay.
It's Stan Lee.
I know it's Stanley. That's not the point. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, comedy or drama? I know it sounds like an odd question, but I'm intrigued as to what you'd prefer because visual effects stuff is mostly happens in drama. It doesn't really happen much in comedy.
If I want to watch something like at home, it'll be comedy. If I'm going to the cinema, it's drama. Like I watched Oppenheimer. That was very good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
It just didn't stop. I thought it was over. It's like another half an hour of it. I'm like,
yeah,
it's like a whole other story to it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's not a film about a bomb. It's a film about a man. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing, isn't it? Really. Yeah.
it's Schindler's List, but about a bomb.
See, I've still haven't watched Schindler's List, but I have watched the Barbie movie now.
The what movie?
The Barbie movie.
Oh dear, no.
Look at you two shaking your. So there, I'm getting shunned by a 16-year-old and a 49-year-old.
Oh, you said at the beginning. Don't let age come into it. You've used age there.
Ollie, have you just woke Gary? Oh, that's awful.
He's done me again. He's done it again. That's it. I've been outdone by a teenager. I've done it again. I've done it again.
No, I haven't watched Barbie though.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to watch it, and I really enjoyed it. So there you go. That's it.
I'm changing your ringtone now to "I'm a Barbie girl."
No, I'm a Barbie girl. So you'll say, "Excuse me, I've just got to talk to Gary."
Talk to Gary.
Hello, darling.
Not driving.
You always drive. He only ever calls me when he's in his flipping car.
On hand.
He always calls me when he's driving.
Totally hands free, and when I'm at lights.
Okay, and again, TMI. Right, custard cream or bourbon?
I'm gonna have to say custard cream.
Yes.
No, but
Sorry.
I don't know. I don't eat them both really.
Do you drink hot drinks or cold drinks? Really? Do you drink tea at all?
Don't drink tea. No, I don't drink tea. I drink coffee. I like coffee. Not often though.
So you're probably more I would have a bourbon with a coffee. I'd have a custard cream with a cup of tea.
I don't. I just drink water and milk.
Well, I think unless there's anything fundamentally that you want to ask us, I think we've come to the end of what has been a very enjoyable podcast. Thank you very much, thank you for literally taking part. Really, thank you so much.
Well, hang on, I've got a question.
Oh, right, there we go.
Blender or Maya?
What, for me?
Both. Anyone.
To answer your question, personally, I love Blender because it's dead easy to use for me to do the things that I like doing, which is at the moment modelling little robots. That'll all become clear.
It will become clear at some point.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to answer now?
Yeah, you can do, yeah.
Blender.
Yep. Oh, actually, one more question as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
Hang on, John. Do you do much compositing?
No. No, I don't do any compositing. If I can help it. I don't also do any sound editing because I've only got one ear.
Yes, he edited one of these podcasts and it was so bad I had to do it again.
Well, no, I was going to ask node-based or layer-based compositing.
However, I will answer that. It's node-based all the way for me. I grew up using Fusion, so I only really knew node-based. Fusion.
Eventually was all Fusion.
Well,
yes, it was a separate package.
Yeah, it was. It was a separate package. So it was by Ion at the time. Ion did it. Ion and Chaos Tools, they had it for a while. So, but digital
and
Fusion.
then Autodesk had it.
And gave it away free. Yeah, if you bought
for about a week, and then basically sold it off to Blackmagic, who basically gave it away for nothing.
And it's still free. Yeah, so it's technically
still free. Yeah.
Well, there's a hobbled version, really, that's free.
However, if you're going to be a professional grader and a professional editor, you're probably going to need to look at Nuke.
I use that. I use that sometimes.
16 years old, and he uses that sometimes. I mean,
not well. It's not good. It's just
you're using it. Outstanding.
But the point is that if you, it's like this is the thing, I mean, obviously we're very biased towards Blender, you and I are, Ollie, and because we love it and we can do stuff in it, but it is very much about the person rather than it is the software, and that is the truth at the end of the day. You will find that as you go further down your path with Maya, you won't forget Blender. Far from it. You'll still have it and you'll still use it. But on your daily work day, you'll probably end up using Maya more. I know that, but or more to the point, it might be you're using Houdini more, because Houdini probably will end up taking over, I think, in a large way away from what Maya has. Maya is still great for character animation. Can't take that away. But the rigging system in Blender is getting better and better and better and better and better still.
It's still not as good as Maya's.
I hasten to disagree.
I just still think it's easier, but that's because I know how to rig in Maya.
But rigging is pretty much the same across the board. Yeah, it's across the board. So there are certain differences. It's like it's literally like I open this little door or open this big door, but they still lead to the same room. You know what I mean? It's what it's like. So, but if you learn Nuke and you want to work in visual effects, and you're also at the same time, you are a 3D generalist, you will never have a day when you're not working.
Do you?
For the rest of your
Here's a channel for you. Now, I know we don't normally give shouts out to channels, but do you? Are you aware of Hugo's desk? Okay, you now, and Hugo, that's another subscriber you're going to get. Thanks, mate. But yeah, you do need to get onto Hugo's desk.
Who's that? Hugo's.
Hugo
Guerra, Guerra.
Hang on, what? So, oh God.
Hugo
Uh-huh.
Guerra,
Yeah.
Guerra.
Hey.
He's so fun to talk to in IRL. Really talk to him.
He's not. Yeah, no, he's genuinely
He's
a
a
really
really,
lovely guy.
really knowledgeable person and knows so much.
Mm.
And Gary and I
Yes,
are just like, we're just like, I don't know.
We're
We're
jobbers.
like Christmas decorations. We go up once a year and we sparkle for a bit, and then we get put back in this box. Do you know what, Ollie? It's been actually great to answer some questions. I was hoping you were going to ask some questions, and it's been great to answer some. It's been fabulous to meet you. Well done. We were talking last night. I was talking to Connor from Hopwood College and he was saying, when finding those unicorns, maybe you just are one of those unicorns.
I think so.
Don't give up. Please don't give up. It's going to be exciting to watch your career unfold. And certainly you've got Gary if you need anything. But
listen, cheers, Ollie. I really do appreciate it, and it's been lovely, but it's getting late, and you've got college tomorrow.
No, I have a holiday.
It's half term.
It's half term, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what, you up till like 2:00 tonight playing Battlefront?
No, probably Minecraft tonight.
So to finish off,
Mm-hmm.
both John and I honestly can't express enough how lovely it's been having you on this. It's lovely to catch up as well, Ollie. Look after yourself, take care, keep in contact, and let us know how things develop. And obviously, if there's anything we can do. But on that note, even.
Yep.
I would thank you very much and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. And also, it's goodbye from me, John.
Is it that time already?
It has to be.
Well, it's good night from him as well.
It's good night, and it's good night from me. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.
This work is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International license. Any opinions stated during the course of this podcast belong purely to myself and to John and are based at the time that we record this. The theme music is My Everything by DJ Quads. If you like that, and I'm sure you probably did, there is a lot more of his great stuff which you can find at soundcloud.com/DJ Quads, or his music is also promoted by www.free-stock-music.com.